We have double the ice barrier action. It appears that we've also got some Tellarknights, and of course, Shaddolls Yummy? Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more on us. So the first list we're going to be looking at here is one of two ice barrier lists that popped up over the course of the weekend, and honestly, I'm just happy to see that Ice Barrier is doing well. Now, you do see that this list is playing the new first penguin out here, which is just going to be an extra little extender for you to kind of get set up. We've seen how good that this card is. Mermail was playing it for a little while in Japan, but it's definitely one of those bodies that can help you out. Of course, we do get to see the Gradle Synchro Monster still seeing play. I love the fact that the Gradle Synchro Monster in these water piles continues to come up because it's such a funny thing to see. But Ice Barrier's using a lot more of the Synchro buildup that you're kind of used to seeing. And of course, General Ryo still being one of the best cards you've got for your toolbox options. Now, we do have another list here. Now, this build actually subs out the first penguin and goes back to more of the classical approach of we're going to use the swap frog as the initial setup for this, which there is some interchangeability here. It's not exactly the worst idea to see the swap frog being the layer setup for you. We also do see all of these lists have one very common factor, and it is the general doing his job. Shaving off your opponent's resources. We do also once again get to see the Gradle down there in the extra deck. Of course, this build gets to play Baron de Fleur. It's actually kind of crazy to think about. The Baron de Fleur is kind of a end board piece that this deck can actually make and actually, stabilize and use against the opponent. Also, we get to see Dominus Impulses and a lot of the other prowess for this deck actually kind of getting set up. So, definitely a good, interesting list. Now, we also have Constellar Tellarknights. So, with the new support, we finally get to bridge together. Well, I mean, the Tellarknight cards are still going to be the better pieces. There's no real arguing that, no matter what we might think or disagree with. But from what we've been seeing here, you play the old Tellarknight monsters at the smaller batch because, you have a literal Exceed monster that allows you to basically access those monster abilities. And once you're able to do so, it's usually pretty good. Also down here in the side deck, we have the Illusion Gate. I see that we have one of the interesting old Constellar cards seeing some play. The extra deck, we have one diamond. We do get to play the Shaddolls Tellarknight, that monstrosity. We're also playing the Eclipse Twins in here. We also do get to play F-Zero. I guess this is a deck that can actually make use of F-Zero for part of its end board piece. That's kind of interesting. Next up here, we have this monstrosity. Now, you might be asking yourself, what's the synergy with this? The synergy is I'm just making Shaddolls cards to get set up. All the Yummy monsters are light, which actually just means any Yummy monster in your hand ends up being an essential, starter piece for this deck to be able to access and go down. Now, your Yummy package is kind of small in this. You have the double field spells, the one surprise, and then you're maximizing on all the rest. You're not really bulking down any of the fat. You're not trying to abuse other surprises, and I think that's fine. Keeping the deck on a minimalistic approach is definitely not a bad thing. And also, I see that this build is even playing the Hell Shaddolls in here for the fire attribute, so this deck is really trying to access as many different tool lines as it can. And then we also have K9 for you. Now, remember, K9 only has one Jewel Cool, two Azuna in the OCG. But that's not going to stop people from trying to make this deck work. Actually, I would hope that it would continue to inspire players to want to play this deck. Triple Chaotic Elements, triple case K9. Effectively fixes my Joe Cool problem as it is. 6 searchers for a one of them can pull from the graveyard, which is the elements, which is fine. You also see these builds playing the Disc Blaster. We got the Link Slayer in here as a little free extender, but the fact that, you're playing pure K9 at this point, you're using the level 5 toolbox stuff to basically get the setup and be able to kind of combo up and do anything. Also, River Stormer bridging that gap for you. Yeah, we do get to classically see why these decks are able to functionally do well. It's just a lot of good stuff. Well, we have some Sky Striker for you with Runic. So one of the more common builds that we've been seeing a lot in the OCG has been the Radiant Typhoon cards building into Sky Striker to help things out. Now, this list goes one step further beyond what we're used to seeing. We are playing Runic cards in here as well. And I mean, that's fine, right? Runic Fountain, Tip, all of that good stuff is going to effectively give you a chance to control the game and help things out. You've also got the Fallen and the Virtuous in here as well, which is going to be another strong combo line to help you do your thing. Now, we just have to clear the opponent down enough that we can set up the linkage OTK on a turn that we can attack. And quite honestly, this deck does it pretty well. I also see we are side decking two Threatening Roars. You also have the triple Appointer in the side deck. That's more Appointer than I have seen in many, many, many years. Next up, we have some Vanquish Soul. Now, this list is kind of interesting to me because we're actually playing a very, very small engine for Rizal. Now, what are you doing with Rizal? You're just making a detonator as an inboard piece, honestly. It's kind of funny because all you need is to, have like a little established level 4 package, and at like the end of the combo line, you can just kind of bridge into it and kind of go. Now, I don't really... Are people like actually considering this? It's a 2-card inclusion in the main deck for, hey, I've got an Exceed monster on the field. Let's go ahead and splash some of this. Same thing with a sword, depending on how, I need to get the extension to go. I don't know. I saw this list. I was like, this is interesting that somebody's actually taking an actual consideration to play Rizal cards in this to make a detonator out of nowhere. Oh, this has become a creature in the OCG. So we're playing Yummy Bestial Fiendsmith. And your Fiendsmith package isn't even anything crazy. We're not even playing the Lacrima in here. We're using the Bestials as extra level 5 candidates, but also the thing that you're doing here is you're also using, you make the 2 monsters, make the Underworld Goddess, toggle into the Fiendsmith stuff. Fiendsmith stuff puts the Necroquip on the field. You then revive it. Congratulations, you've got your level 6 protection set up, and now your opponent kind of has to deal with the oh crap, there's actually problems brewing here on this end board setup. So I don't know, I think that's kind of cool to see that, not only is the Yummy stuff finding other ways to kind of make boards, it's relatively interesting just to kind of see, how modern deck building is going in the OCG. Gem Knights. What's funny about this? So the real reason why Archlord Christia got zapped in the OCG was because Gem Knights were basically putting it up when they're forced to go first. If they go second, their whole job is to break down the board and push to go for game. Well, if they go first, they just access Archlord Christia and then lock you out of the game. And it's a problem you've got to work out. This is kind of where we are at right now. Generic fairy cards with net prim and things working out is a wee little bit of a problem. And the fact, the extra deck can actually make this is kind of hilarious. Obviously, we are playing a Herald of Orange Light in the main deck, just kind of as a little tool to blow your opponent out. It's still limited to 1 in the OCG, which is hilarious to me, by the way, that they have this hand trap, and it is limited in the capacity that it is. So, I don't know, a little interesting little takeaway to say the least. And then we also have Orcust Fiendsmith with triple triple of the Speedroid stuff. Well, I mean, it does access 2 monsters, does in fact make the mini Underworld Goddess, which gives you full Fiendsmith combo, as we have seen, which actually gets you into the Pilgrim Reaper, so you can mill 5, which inadvertently turns into a reverse starter for the deck. 6-7. Yeah, it's really, really funny. But outside of that, interesting little takeaways here for, how the meta is going with these little tech choices. So, what do you guys think? Please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here in day, guys. patrons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.